Hello, everybody. Welcome to Is This a Ghost? I'm Clayton Smith, and every week I tell a real ghost story from real history to my real friend, Patrick Dean, who doesn't take it real seriously, but he does take his Lego friends seriously.
They are actually my Lego friends now. I think we've gotten
if you were finally comfortable going to that level with them.
They're no longer Lego acquaintances. They are Lego friends.
You know what the next step is?
Lego benefits.
That's right. Which one has the same reading glasses as Amy? Because that one's going first.
It weirds me out that you and Amy have the exact same reading glasses. It's a little freaky.
Yeah, let me see. Does this help? Now it's very magnified.
Is that what they call? Is that bifocal? Is that what they call that?
I think so. So. These are multifocal. Yeah.
They take a little while to get used to, but the headaches quit eventually.
But it's worth it. It's
Yeah.
worth it. When you blow your brains out, they stop. So is it confusing you that Amy and I have the same glasses? Are you feeling some strange feelings you're not quite sure how to handle?
None that I didn't feel about that little Lego guy last week.
Well, all right.
I appreciated Jen searching up and down for a Patrick Lego, but I don't think she got one as good as I got you.
She said it was the closest she could find. She admitted that it wasn't a dead ringer.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I might buy a pair anyway. Just have them here. Gonna do little things.
Like the little Lego friends. You've seen those, right? So there's the original Legos, right?
Yeah.
That everyone has like a cylindrical head and Grand Theft Auto hands.
Little thing on top.
Yeah, and then they make the Lego friends, which are like skinny limbs or whatever, but the heads are still very, very large.
Yeah.
And my kids tell me Dad, all of these look like you.
That's hurtful, children.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
They have little broomstick ankles, and their head is the size of a pumpkin. Okay, that's.
It's a dead ringer.
Yeah. So is this one. This one's the girl you.
Gotta get to it because this may be a long one tonight.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of words here.
Did you research this one, or was this another Gen research job?
I did it myself. Thank you for asking.
Wow.
I did all the work here.
This is with a full-time job.
Oh man, I'm exhausted. I tell you. Once again, worked a full day today. Got to do it again on Thursday.
Man, full-time Mondays and Thursdays. Can you imagine?
I know.
Full-time
I'm
days a
living
week.
it, so I have to imagine it. Stuff. Oh boy.
I will say though, working in the winter in Chicago is a special kind of miserable, because when you get into whatever office, whatever building you'll be working in, it's usually still dark, or at least very dreary. And when you leave at 4:10, 4:15 in the afternoon, back to being dark and dreary again, you're like, I feel like I missed the only tolerable part of the day.
Yeah. When you get there, you got to change out of your wet shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And into the dry shoes you have hopefully stashed at your office. And at the end of the day, you got to put those wet shoes back on, and they're still wet because there's no dryer.
Where's it gonna go?
Nope.
Yeah.
So I've earned those 3 days a week off.
How about that?
Plus the weekend.
Right. Plus the ones that everybody gets.
Oh boy. Thank you. My shirt. Thank you for asking. Yeah. You mean this old guy?
What?
You mean this shirt?
Oh wow. Whoo, buddy.
I mean this. Can you see? I don't know if you can see it from there. Really good. You see this shirt?
Wow.
What do you mean?
Is that a sticker? I don't know what that is.
Nope, it's a shirt. It's a shirt. I know you've probably seen stickers like this out in the world, maybe on your Chicago commute. But no, this one is I've got the Abe Lincoln shirt on tonight.
Whew.
And it's gonna give me good energy.
Nice. I've got the classic on tonight. I got the classic, more in the classic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's oh, look, there he is. There's a little ghost host. The retired ghost host.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
These bitches are on clearance, and I bought them all.
I actually, you know what? I wore my old ghost host today too to work under my sweatshirt that I wear because I dress like a 12-year-old when I go to my job.
We have several matching shirts. over the year. Like we've ended up with several,
Yeah.
whether intentionally or unintentionally, we've had several
The
identical
Yachty
shirts.
shirt.
The Yachty
The
shirt.
other?
The
Christmas's
Christmas's
ribs.
Yep.
Yep. Classic. Do you still have that one?
I do absolutely. I work 2 days a year, obviously.
Exactly. Barbecue
Christmas
Day and Christmas Day.
Christmas and Rib Fest. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
I really, the first year I did actually wear it to my family Christmas and got a lot of just really unhappy comments from my aunt.
I had to stop wearing it to family Christmas when my nieces got old enough to start asking questions about whose ribs Santa was eating.
Well, December 26th, those reindeers, they don't got a whole lot to do anymore.
They get a little old. They got to go to retirement. And
maybe Jen can like splice in an image of the Christmas's ribs artwork, because it probably would help to fill in some gaps in the conversation.
Yeah, I'll take a picture. I'll send it to Jen. Yep, that's why you got to be watching the YouTube. Got to watch the YouTube.
Absolutely. Otherwise, none of this
All
shit
the
makes
shirts.
sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of shirts, we have new merch in the store, and it's the George Washington. It's Ghost of George Washington holding a picture of his own blood.
It's a classic.
And I want to remind everybody, President's Day is coming up. It's February 19th, I think.
Ish. So, it's right around there.
Right around there. You order now. This can be your President's shirt, and then 4th of July. It's a great 4th of July shirt. It's red, white, and blue.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And I know how you are. You go to work, 5 days a week. Clayton notwithstanding.
Sorry, you're talking to the audience. Yeah. Okay.
So you wear your same old stupid shit. So there's like 3 days a year you get to wear what you want, right? It's like a Saturday in June, and then like 2 days off at Christmas. You get to wear whatever you want. Well, that means you really only need 3 shirts, and I think one of them should really be George Washington drinking a pitcher of his own blood.
No, he's not drinking it.
Well, but
the drinking is sort of assumed. Yeah. You know what? Maybe for Halloween, for Halloween, we can make like a version where he has vampire teeth. And those have blood, and so that would be a fun thing.
That would sell. That would absolutely sell.
Definitely. So go check it out at isthisaghost.com/store. He's fun. I'm getting one soon. Very excited. Very excited. Confuse everybody. Gosh, this could be. We should get going. You ready for a ghost story?
Yeah. Are you short on time? You trying to?
I'm long on words.
Okay.
I am scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling, still scrolling and scrolling and I'm scrolling. This is a big one. This is a big one.
Is it a good one? Is it good though?
I think so.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Yep. You tell me. Not my job to put together a good story. It's my job to put together a weekly story. So
once a week and often weekly.
Crack this open before we get started. That's my sparkling water from
fancy.
I was Costco. That's what it's called.
I was gonna pour myself a little glass of the stout cask, but it is all the way on the other side of the basement, and I am comfortable. So.
Erin poured herself some of that the other night, and as you know, I'm still doing dry January, and boy, that smell just carried through the house. And it was so
unblemished,
good.
Still unblemished.
Wow. The record stands. I've lost 15 pounds this month.
Is that how much booze you drink?
I think so.
You drink 15 pounds of booze a month?
Yeah. So I've learned a lot about myself and some things that I need to change in my life. Yeah. But yeah, it was good, and I'm looking forward to that. Ghost story. Do you want to hear a ghost story?
Yeah. I guess we have to do the banter this week.
Okay. Is there something you want to banter about?
I got nothing.
You building up your banter for the weekend?
No, I really got nothing.
You want to talk about your sick kid? You want to talk about my kid's sleep regression? Does that sound fun?
No, we should just skip forward to the story.
All right. So, Ferdinand Porsche.
Ooh, that sounds very
fast.
Canadian. What? Fast. Yes. Yeah. Very, very fast.
He was born on September 3rd, 1875 in Moffersdorf in northern Bohemia. Today, of course, is part of the Czech Republic. His parents were... What?
No, nothing. Nothing to say about Bohemia.
His parents were Anna and Anton Porsche. Anton was a master panel beater.
Wait, what?
Any questions?
Panel beater.
Master panel beater.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to sell him short. Master panel beater.
Yeah, master panel beater.
Okay.
Professionally.
Well, yeah. I mean, probably started out doing it just for the love of beating,
out of boredom. Fend off the loneliness, as we all do, but then became a master panel beater with time and practice. He was someone who restored dented automobiles.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, Ferdinand was very good with technology and also with electricity. He's good to have around. He attended Imperial Polytechnical College in Reichenberg. And later, he would go on to get a job at the Bella Egger and Company Electrical... Wait, Bella Egger and Company Electrical Company? No.
Yeah. Bella
That's
Egger
too many companies.
No, it's not. No.
Bella Egger and Company?
Bella Egger and Company. Like, you have company over.
Yeah, oh yeah. And
but they're not like,
here.
Starting a business with the people. So... Might be a translation thing. I bet.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet. That's two different words in that language.
Okay, so Bella Egger. We're just call it Egger. Egger and Co. Egger and Co.
We're running out of time.
While Ferdinand was in Vienna, he attended classes at Vienna University of Technology. So he's getting he's hitting all
VU.
Yep. You know it.
The fighting little cakes.
Vut, they call it. The fighting little cakes.
The vut.
The Fightin Lady Fingers.
I don't fight him. I'll tell you that much.
He was with Egger and Company for 5 years, during which time he built their first electric wheel hub motor. I imagine you're a big nerd. You probably know what wheel hub motor is. Would you like to explain that to me? And I mean to our listeners.
In most vehicles, in most non-electric vehicles, you have an engine and you have a transmission.
Okay.
And the transmission drives one or two axles of the vehicle. Boring. So that's where the motion starts in the engine. In a wheel hub drive, you send either electricity or hydraulic power directly to the wheel, like where the tire is mounted, and that is where you deliver power to instead of starting from the engine. So, wheel hub motor design.
Can you do it again, but interesting?
So imagine if instead of Fred Flintstone pumping his feet on the pavement.
Okay, now we're talking my language. Go on.
He goes over to the wheel itself and he just starts turning it and turning it and turning it.
Okay.
Until eventually he gets to the Brontosaurus drive-in complex type place.
Okay. Yeah, where did he work?
He worked at the quarry.
Yeah.
Quarry.
And then he went to the drive-in afterward with the giant steak that tipped the car.
Blow some steam off. You know how it is.
Yeah. This is good that we're talking about this because we have so much to get through.
You keep saying this, but it seems very casual.
This is, as you probably know, the kind of motor most often seen on electric bikes today. So we still use those on those fancy things. So for all our hipster listeners out there, you probably have one.
True. There was a big controversy in the old Tour de France a few years ago of a hidden hub motor bicycles. So
that feels like that shouldn't be allowed. I'll put a flag in the ground on that one. I don't think so.
Now, if you want to convert the whole thing over to motorcycles and go across the French countryside as fast as you can, 200 miles an hour,
then we're talking.
And then, a couple dozen of you don't make it. That I would watch. I would watch.
Now we're back on the Isle of Man, and I'm interested again.
Really, it's not. If every race, I'm actually kind of a little disappointed that all of these races haven't just turned into Isle of Man / death race type races. Like none of them really have.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
Yeah,
I can't imagine why not. So let's see. So Ferdinand then goes on to use that same motor to build electric cars for Egger and Company. So this is the 1800s. So they had electric cars in the 1800s, and these cars were breaking speed records in America. So we could have
Well, like
had
12, 13, something like that.
35 miles per hour.
Holy cannoli!
That's Blaze. That's a
You
1901 35.
It's a loud 35 is what that is. That's a 35 you can hear before you can see it.
In 1902, then Ferdinand was drafted into military service, which is fine because there's nothing happening in 1902.
1902?
Yeah.
No, pretty quiet.
Safe time.
Yeah.
Good time in military service.
Mm-hmm.
He was there for a while. He went on to serve as the chauffeur. Boy, I don't know why that was so hard, huh? It is going to be a long night. He served as a chauffeur to a man named Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Oh, like the band.
It's just like the band, yes. Famous.
Is this one of those chicken and the egg things where like nobody really knows who was first, or?
Yeah, I think so. No one knows. We'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was driving the car on the day that the Archduke was assassinated.
This it probably would have come up in your research, I would imagine.
I think so. I think they would have mentioned that.
Was present at the beginning of World War I, literally within arm's reach. Yeah.
So he did have that job, though.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this is what that does happen to Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Mm-hmm.
He's shot, and that kicks off, as you mentioned, World War One. Now, at the end of World War One, not to dismiss World War One entirely, but
They
we're moving
dismissed
on.
the Great War.
Yeah.
But we did make a better one later.
Yep. So Austria-Hungary breaks up, and then Ferdinand gets to choose where he wants to be a citizen. At this point, because
That's convenient.
Yeah, so he chooses Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
Which I guess was an option. And after that, Ferdinand goes on to have a very long and very successful career in automobile design. Fun fact. Ferdinand Porsche designed he designed the Volkswagen Beetle.
Ah, the people's car. Good for him.
Yeah, sure. Now, eventually World War II happens. Bigger, better war.
This guy sounds like a bad luck charm to me.
Yeah, it's
he's right in the middle of all these things going on.
All making a lot of sense. World War II is the whole thing. Now, I don't want to dismiss World War II, but actually, we are going to stay on World War II for just a second, only because Ferdinand and his son Ferry were actually pretty close.
I'm sorry. What? Hang on.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to request a spelling on this one.
Ferry.
Okay, just like the boat. That's fine.
Just like the boat. Now there may be a pronunciation difference, but I can't imagine that's true.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those where as soon as you get to be an adult, you're like, you know what, I'm going by Ferdinand again. We're not shortening this anymore.
I don't like that. It's like when I was little and my mom chose my haircut because I was a child and she gave me spikes. And then looking back, I thought, I'm going to do grown-up hair.
Right.
Actually. Yeah. So Ferry is like the spikes of names. Does that make sense? Am I coming through okay? You're not responding. Can you hear your earphones on?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I could have Spike's haircut right now.
Anyone could have spiked haircut. So Ferry, So Ferdinand and his son Ferry were, which I don't know. I'm just going with it. They were actually pretty close friends with Adolf Hitler.
Oh.
So we're going to talk about World War II just a bit. In 1934, either Joseph Goebbels or Adolf Hitler himself made Ferdinand a naturalized German citizen. Like, you're one of us now. Come be German. And so Ferdinand becomes German citizen, and he very happily joins the Nazi Party and even becomes an SS officer. So, yeah. Enjoy your Volkswagen Beetle now, you fucking fascist. People's car, my ass. That's a car for the Aryan race, my friend.
They can put as many little ladybug spots and eyelashes on as they want, but we all know where that fucker came from.
So during World War II, Ferdinand and Ferry, turns out, they used forced labor to help make a lot of vehicles for the Nazis. They,
Oh, okay.
yes.
The people's car starts to make more sense now as a shorthand. Okay.
It's a double entendre a bit
Yeah.
there, yeah. They, I read an article that said they employed about 300 forced laborers. Now, I don't think that's the right word.
That's this sounds like the company mistranslation from earlier. Like, how do you say, are they employed?
Yeah, they
They
employed. Go ahead. Sorry,
no. I'm done. I'm
we
very
can cut it all together. With Jeremy, will make it work. Go ahead. You want to take it over?
no. Please.
So they employed about 300 forced laborers, wink, including Poles and Russians, which of course was pretty typical of German factories during the time. Employers would often work those slave laborers to death, literally, and then replace them with new prisoners of war. That's how you make cars.
Mm-hmm.
Famously.
So many people stopped before they got to the very end of Henry Ford's book, and they were like, "Yeah, there's an appendix here, but it gets a little." I don't think we need to do all of it. Yeah, I think we can just start up the assembly line stuff. It's really okay.
We're gonna we will stop before the disassembly line starts.
Yeah,
that's where it's key.
Ooh, leather seats. I like this. Yes, very, very fine.
Oh God. Whew. So all this leads Ferdinand to being arrested as a war criminal in France on December 15th, 1945.
Mm.
Now,
you make one mistake, one mistake in life.
Small mistake, becoming an SS officer.
Yeah. And after being best friends with Adolf Hitler and employing slave laborers to death. Just one time, it's a butterfly effect, really. What would have happened?
It is.
What would have happened if you hadn't been best friends with Adolf Hitler?
Gosh,
I don't know.
So many of us can ask ourselves that question.
Yeah.
The question that's coming back in vogue in some ways. According to the Porsche family, the arrest was, quote, a thinly veiled attempt at extorting money and forcing them to collaborate with Renault, French automaker Renault. But actually, they were just actual war criminals.
I was going to say,
the part earlier about.
Yeah, is Renault the car company going on arresting people now? Is it? This is all a big plot by Big Auto to arrest war criminals and persecute them. This is.
Did we take innocent Poles and Russians and make them build cars for us until they died on our floors? And then did we throw them into the furnace and then replace them with other war criminals or prisoners of war? Yeah. Yeah. Where's the crime?
Yeah.
Where's the crime? Fake news. Witch hunt.
It was a war. We all did crazy things.
But they were war criminals. So enjoy your Volkswagen Beetles and enjoy your Porsches. Have fun bopping around in your Nazi mobiles, everybody. While Ferdinand was in French prison, Ferry went home. He was also arrested, but I think released early. He goes home and he builds the Porsche 356, which was the very first car to carry the Porsche brand name. Now the Nazi Porsche family is just running full steam ahead, and the company begins to grow. And in the 1950s, jumping ahead a little bit here, the Porsche company decided they wanted to design a race car. You know anything about race cars in the 1950s?
There was that movie with Matt Damon.
Oh yeah, there was a movie with Matt Damon, Ferrari.
Ford Ferrari. Ford and Ferrari. That one. Yeah.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari. Yeah.
Who won that fight?
I don't remember. When they transformed into robots, I turned it off. It was
that was just too much, huh? Too excited. I couldn't sit down anymore. So apparently, and I've learned a lot about 1950s car racing this week. And well, we'll just get into it.
Sure.
We'll go on this journey together. Now, inspired by Ferry Porsche's original Porsche 356 design, the company worked on a new car, which was a convertible that was small, light, and low to the ground. Their first race car. This car was so low to the ground that German Formula One racer Hans Hermann drove it during a race in 1954, drove this car under a closed railroad crossing gate.
I'm sorry. During a race?
Yes.
Which-
One of the things I learned about
Yeah.
races in the 50s all over the world is that they just happened on streets.
like, welcome to the Daytona 500 or the Daytona however long until we all get arrested. I don't know.
The Daytona
Yeah.
hardware to the hardware store
Yeah.
and back, I guess. This sleek little beauty is the Porsche 550. And I've got a picture. Now this is a modern picture of a restored one, but we'll look at other pictures later. So there you go.
Oh, it looks. Yeah, looks fine. Looks like
It's a car.
just wildly dangerous. And like
It looks literally like a toy car.
Yeah. It's like you're sitting squarely on a skateboard that's going 80 miles an hour down the road.
Yeah.
But
If I sat in this car, I would look like a Shriner. My knees would go definitely over the windshield. And this is their race car, the Porsche 550. Good.
yeah, sure, I guess.
All right, great. Now, people are going bananas for this car. They love this car because it's not just a race car; it's also street legal. But again, a lot of the race cars were then because
I see.
the races were just on streets. Now, Porsche only made 90 of them total over, I think, 3 years. Yes, 3 years. 90 cars. So people were just clamoring for them.
But like, do you know how hard it is to build a car if you have to pay all of the people building the car?
We only make 4 cars a year now because it is wildly expensive. There's also some comment here. At some point, people from Porsche, and it may have been Ferdinand himself, went to visit Henry Ford's assembly line, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is brilliant!" Like, we've been making 5 cars a year. What a good idea!
Each of us starts a car on January 1st, and usually one of us will finish one by the end of the year.
Oh man. So these become especially popular in California. There are a lot of year-round racetracks in California because the weather's always so nice. And so racing is very popular, and street legal race cars, therefore, are also quite popular. Hey, speaking of California, 1950s were a boom time for Hollywood, huh? Movies, movies, movies. What's your favorite movie from the golden age of Hollywood?
Oh, I would have to Google what movies came out in the 1950s.
Great. Now
I'm going to go with the Sound of Music. That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
I don't, no idea.
If you go to Hollywood today, and you may remember from our trip to Hollywood, it's a real garbage place.
Yeah, it's not so good now.
No, there's garbage everywhere in that place.
Pretty much, yeah.
I used to work when I worked at Live Nation. That's where my team worked, so I would fly there from Chicago twice a month, and their office is it's in Hollywood. It's like right across from the Mann's Chinese Theater. And the first time I went, I guess I forgot about our road trip, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be so cool to go to Hollywood. It's gonna be," and it was not good. It was not good. It wasn't fun or good. It's gross and dirty and horrible, and that's Hollywood. But back then, in the fifth, oh boy, that's wowie wow.
Hadn't been used up yet.
That's right. And right around this time, there was a young, handsome actor from Marion, Indiana, who was just taking the silver screen by storm.
Oh, I think I know who this is.
Do you know who this is?
Is this my namesake? Is that who it is?
I guess in a sense you could say that. I don't think that's
long
correct,
lost,
but
long lost. He's my great uncle, I think.
Oh yeah, I see the resemblance.
I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah, you look your spitting image of our friend James Byron Dean. Yeah. Now, as you know, because you are related to him,
of course,
because he was a whole thing.
It's pretty big, pretty big guy,
pretty big deal. I don't think he was a very big guy.
I mean, he was giant.
Well, I don't think he was the star of that movie, actually, so I'm not sure that's correct. Now, James Dean had he had a lot of cool hobbies, such as bullfighting. Do you know he was a bullfighter?
I did
That was
not
just
know
a
he
thing
was a
he picked
bullfighter.
up.
Okay.
He's like, I want to fight
Yeah.
bulls. And pretty famously, he also liked to race cars.
Mm-hmm.
He got really serious about car racing in 1954. Now, James Dean, his first really big role was in East of Eden. And after filming on that movie was wrapped, he bought himself a Triumph Tiger T110 and a Porsche 356.
Woo,
That very first Porsche.
buddy.
He started racing professionally. He competed in his first professional race event in Palm Springs just before he started filming his next big movie, Rebel Without a Cause. He won first place in the novice class and second place overall.
Whew.
So he was a real deal. He goes on to compete in more races. It's one of his favorite things to do. I think his plan was to compete in the Indianapolis 500. I think something happened in the qualifying race, like he wrecked or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like a favorite to qualify for that race. That was his big dream.
Huh.
But then he didn't. But that was okay because he's a movie star.
Yeah, he's
He's
I
fine.
mean,
well,
yeah.
yeah, to a point. To
Yeah.
a point. Now, in 1955, James Dean lands a role in the movie Giant. This is a Warner Brothers flick, and Warner Brothers tells him, James, listen, while you're filming this movie,
Mhm.
you cannot fight bulls, and you cannot race cars.
Mm.
They said, you'll get yourself killed, James. And he said, you idiot.
Yeah, what a
I
wet
never
blanket
would.
you guys are. Yeah.
So they don't let him race cars the whole time, and he does abide by that rule. He follows the rules. He doesn't race cars the whole time, but it is just like it's eating him up.
Mm-hmm.
He's real angry about it.
Gotta go fast.
Got to go fast. Live fast, live long. I think is that how the saying goes? I can never remember.
Yeah, that's how I always say it.
Live fast, die never.
Mm-hmm.
He's hating this, and he starts taking it out on the studio in small ways. For example, there was one day when they wanted to move his trailer off the lot to a different part of the lot, and he wouldn't get out of his trailer quick enough. Like he knew they had to like move it, to get some shot in or something. And he took his time. He kind of lingered a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So he would do little passive aggressive things like that
Mm-hmm.
to make the studio angry. And these antics led Jack Warner, president at the time of Warner Brothers,
Mm.
the man himself, to refer to James Dean as, quote, a little bastard. So they finally finish filming Giant. And as soon as they do, James Dean is like, all right, friends, time to fly. Time to fly.
Let's go outrun the devil.
And just to really stick it to the studio, he decides he's going to trade in his Porsche 356 for an even sleeker, even faster race car, the Porsche 550. He goes to the lot and he purchases the car on September 23rd, 1955. He has it customized with tartan seats, lost my place, and he had the number 130 painted on the hood and on the door. And he had them even paint the name Little Bastard just under the Porsche emblem, which is the best. I got a picture for you.
Good for him. I can't wait to see a mangled photo of this later.
What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I don't see
good.
the little bastard in this one, though.
Yeah, I think this was right before they put on, but it goes right under here. So now the car is Little Bastard. And this is all a big fuck you to Jack Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Spent
great.
all Jack's money. All Jack's money on this car.
So he takes Little Bastard out, starts driving all over LA. He's showing it off to his friends. One of the friends he shows the car to right away is a little known British actor named Alec Guinness.
Ooh. Wow.
And as soon as he saw it, Guinness felt his whole body go cold. He later wrote in his diary, quote, "The sports car looked sinister to me, exhausted, hungry, feeling a little ill-tempered in spite of Dean's kindness. I heard myself saying in a voice I could hardly recognize as my own, please never get in it. If you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week. And if you strike me down, car, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Little bastard, I have the high ground.
All the other parts of this were a quote. So he had a premonition that if he got in it, he'd be found dead in a week.
Like, not just, that car's going to kill, but like that car's going to kill you by like Sunday.
Yes.
Very specific.
In 1 week exactly.
Okay.
Jeremy, will you put in dun dun dun, please? Thank you. Dean is like, Alec, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And he laughs.
You sound like that scary girl in the video I watched last night. Anyway.
She said I got to get someone else to ride in this car, or else it's going to wreck in 1 week. Oh,
and it
well.
sounds well, and you're sure you don't want to ride in it? No? Well, okay. I guess here we go.
Ah! So he's excited to get back to racing, and he enters a race immediately. The next race he can find, which is in Salinas, and it's scheduled for Friday, September 30th. So exactly 1 week later. Wait, no, sorry. The schedule it's on Saturday or Sunday, but he's going to go to Salinas on Friday, 1 week later. And you go up to Salinas the day before the race.
Sure.
I made that unnecessarily complicated. All you need to know is the next part of this happens 1 week exactly after Alec Guinness said, in 1 week, I would die. So on Friday, September 30th, James Dean has his car at Bakersfield in California, which is about 200 miles from Salinas. Salinas is closer to San Francisco. Bakersfield is just north of Los Angeles. He's got a ways to go to get it to the race. The plan is they're going to bring little bastard to Salinas on a trailer. But Dean's mechanic, who was a man named Rolf Wutterich.
I think I know what this gentleman's background is.
Would you
I only service German automobiles here in the New World, where we are all getting along very well, famously, really.
A Porsche, you say? Yes, that is exactly the one that I do, yeah.
Yeah.
He says, so Rolf says, I think you should drive it, actually. Get a little more time behind the wheel before you go racing.
This is like a dentist that gives out candy. Like, you know what you should do as your mechanic? You should drive the fuck out of this car for the next 300 miles.
Well, he gets paid by the part, I think.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Should also try and burn out every time he can at a stoplight and really just put that transmission through its paces.
I didn't write this down, but also worth mentioning, I guess, Rolf Wutterich himself, years later, he would go on to have 4 wives.
Sounds complicated.
Yeah, not at the same time.
I wouldn't do that.
Should be clear about that. He had 4 wives, divorced most of them. The last one left him because he stabbed her a lot. While she was sleeping.
But she got away. Or did she leave
the ambulance did
sense?
come, yes.
Oh.
So she had a getaway car, I guess you could call it that.
She left him. She left all of us, really.
I think she lived. One source said she died, but a few others said she lived. So I think she's okay. I mean, scarred physically and emotionally and mentally, but yeah.
And she's super dead now.
Yes, totally. But he tried to kill himself and failed, and then he just stabbed her instead a lot. And then he went to jail.
Miss?
Yeah. Oh no! Oh jeez!
Every time.
So he was in jail for a long time. Eventually, he died in a car wreck. He got drunk and drove his car directly into a tree. Should have stayed in jail, Rolf. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's just some fun history. Anyway, so he's James Dean's mechanic, and he tells James, he says, so you should drive the car, get a feel for it. And Dean's like, this is a great idea. Nothing's going to go wrong. Thanks, Rolf. You can't trust anyone named after a Muppet, is what I think.
He turns around slowly from the piano. You know what I think you should do?
You know what I think you should do?
I think they should go. Nice.
That was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen come across that screen. I'm gonna clip that one for an internet reel. Oh boy. So James and Rolf, they take off in Little Bastard, and a stunt man named Bill Hickman follows behind in the truck and trailer.
Okay.
They are barely out of Bakersfield when a cop pulls over both vehicles for speeding and issues a pair of tickets.
I wonder if they even have like radar in this era, or if there's like you were going way too fucking fast.
I think most of these cars are going 35. You were doing 90. It's easy.
The fucking color of your car was changing. You were going so fast. I don't even know what it is. Gonna write you a ticket for $1 million. I don't know.
I am curious about. Obviously, the car is fast. I can't imagine the truck and trailer are that fast. So, but also speeding because he also got pulled over. This is one hell of a cop. He pulled over the truck and was like, "You wait.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know. I'm gonna catch the other guy, but you wait here." And he does. So they both get tickets, but that doesn't stop him.
I don't think anyone's. I don't think James is paying this ticket. I mean, spoiler alert.
Rip. It's all good. He's like, who cares? Live fast, die young. And so, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Die young. Oh yeah. So,
we knew we were gonna get there.
So as soon as the cop drives away, he guns it again. Like immediately, he's speeding off again, and they're flying down the highway. And this time he leaves Hickman in the truck behind. Now, eventually, they approach a fork in the road, which splits off to Highway 41. And it's a weird fork. So it's not like a T fork. It's more like a Y, like a zipper kind of intersection. So the road's going straight, but coming the other direction, you can turn off into this curve that goes down.
Okay. So
they're going down this road and right at this intersection, and Dean is going about 85 miles an hour. And this is 1955.
Yeah.
So that's a 2024, 8,000 miles an hour. It's like no one has ever seen a car go this fast.
Like rubber flying off of the tires.
Yeah.
Cigarettes everywhere. Yeah.
I wouldn't take my Subaru 85 miles an hour today. So it's just... now there's another car coming towards Dean, and he's stopped at the stops. He's got a stop sign. Dean doesn't have a stop sign.
Right.
He stopped there, and that car is going to turn left onto this kind of zipper other ring. That car is a big Ford Tudor. It's a pretty stocky.
What is it?
You want a picture of a Ford Tudor?
It's a big Tudor. Is that what I heard?
A big Tudor.
Yeah.
Toot toot is I think the catchphrase that Ford came out with for that one. No, two-door, T-D-O-R. Big royal thing.
Yeah.
Big royal inbred thing is what that is. The headlights were real close together. So the Ford Tudor is driven by a 23-year-old Cal Poly student and veteran named Donald Turnipseed.
He was actually a rabbit.
Now, technically, James has the right of way on this because he doesn't have a stop sign.
Sure.
He's just going straight. The other guy does have a stop sign, and he stopped there, but he sees his car coming, and James Dean's car is very far away. So Donald's like, well, I got time to make this left-hand turn.
Sure.
No problem.
Yeah, I got it all day.
Yeah. So he very slowly starts rolling out. And he's just not prepared for how fast James is going because no one has seen a car go this fast.
Right, yeah.
So he starts to make the left turn. He makes it about 3 feet into the other lane when he realizes that James is going too fast, and Donald is not going to make it.
Right.
So he freezes and he stops the car. And so now he's just sitting in the middle of James Dean's lane, which is not where cars should be. And Little Bastard hits the Ford Tudor real hard.
like right there.
Yeah. Now I have some visual aids for us. In case this is helpful. So here's a drawing that Rolf later did of the intersection, the accident.
Oh, okay.
So here's the road. So he's, so Turnip Seed is here.
Yeah.
And then James Rolfe. Now, what I like about this drawing is that this is Rolfe. He did indeed get thrown from the car a great distance. Well, in true Muppet style, he's over here now.
So is that Rolfe lying in the field, or is that James? Or is that Dean lying? That's Rolfe.
This is Woodrick in field.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I'm in the field.
Yes.
These are my organs. Also,
see this hole in the middle of my body? Yeah. this should not be here, but here we are. No, James is still here. He's inside the car still. And I'll just show you what the car looked like.
Probably safer in the car. Nope.
Yes.
I guess it depends on which half of the car he was still in, right?
I don't think that matters much.
No, there's nothing left.
This is a wrecked car. This is totaled.
Yeah.
The insurance company is gonna have to total this one, I think. Yeah, so Rolfe got thrown, I think, over this fence into this field. And then James did not get thrown because he instantly got pinned between the pedals and the dashboard, which kind of crumpled in. So he was just in that, and he didn't make it.
No.
I direct your attention to this car.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So little bastard's having a bad time.
Yeah, this car looks like it was dropped from space. Well,
yeah.
Them's the brakes.
No,
I'm sorry. No, M's not the brakes.
So obviously Rolfe had a lot of broken bones, like quite a few of them, but he lived to stab another day. And Donald Turnipseed walked away from the accident. He was sore, but that was it.
Well, good.
Yeah. Later died as an old man of lung cancer.
Huh. Okay.
Fun fact, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the impact sends a Tudor about 40 feet down the road, and it's a solid car.
Oh, wow.
Look at this.
Goodness.
Ford Tudor. This is kind of a stereotypical looking old-timey car. This is great content for audio. Here you go.
Okay. Yeah. So this is like
Studebaker style.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. So like a Studebaker probably weighs, I'm wagering, somewhere around 5,000 pounds of just solid steel.
That's a heavy car.
Yeah. It's like hitting a cannonball.
Yeah.
You know, with a cannonball at 85 miles an hour.
Right. And little bastard, it's worth noting, is super light, right? For a car, then at least.
Oh, yeah.
It's very light. So that little light baby car sent this car 40 feet. Is how hard he hit it. That's it's no good. No good. Let's see. So James obviously dies. Now, James Dean's ghost is said to haunt the cemetery where he is buried today. Some people have seen him sitting on top of his gravestone, smoking a cigarette and looking, I bet, pretty foxy.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Oh, man. He's a handsome man. And some folks say that if you leave a cigarette on top of the gravestone and then you leave for a while, and then you come back later, the cigarette will be smoked down to ash.
Oh, man.
Now, that may not be a ghost.
I was going to say, that's bums. That's bums right there is what that is. I don't...
But could be a ghost. I'm not ruling ghost out. He's also spotted hitchhiking near the place where he crashed. And when people stop to pick him up, he disappears.
I was going to pick up this hitchhiker. He looks strange, though. He was crumbled up into the size of a bowling bag. I don't really know.
He was like an accordion cat from a cartoon. But he was really handsome, so I thought maybe I'd pick him up.
He smoked all my cigarettes.
So that's the ghost of James Dean, but this story isn't about the ghost of James Dean.
I thought we were done.
Nope, not even close. Good night, Gloria. Yeah. Boy. my god,
She did not
huh?
say hi. She
Yeah,
did
I know
harass
it.
me.
I'm right here watching.
She did harass me. Yeah.
Jeremy, Jen, cut all this out. I'm so
definitely
I
do.
was gonna say keep it in, but now I'm so hurt. Let's see, where are we? Oh, the story's not about James. Yeah, but this isn't the story about the ghost of James Dean. This is the story about the ghost of James Dean's car. After the wreck, Little Bastard was auctioned off by the insurance company, which is a great move.
James made exactly 0 payments on this car.
Needs a little buffering.
Yeah.
But you buffed it out.
We're also somehow liable for the speeding ticket. I'm not sure how that works, but
so who wants to own the car James Dean died in? So they auction off the insurance, or the car, the insurance company does, and despite the extraordinary damage which you have seen, the Porsche's engine was actually unharmed and completely intact.
It looks like it was also very cleanly removed from the vehicle.
Yes, someone took that instantly and was like, yoink, that's mine. The car and the engine, they were purchased by Dr. William Eskrid. He was a medical doctor. He was a surgeon, I think, in California there, and he was a part-time racer. He took the car back. He stripped it down. It didn't take much, I think. And he takes out the engine and he puts it into his Lotus 9. And some of the other salvageable parts from the car were specific to the 550. So he couldn't use them, but he knows another surgeon who has a Porsche 550. So he gives pieces of the transmission and suspension to this friend of his, Dr. Troy McHenry. Both doctors enter the 1956 Sonoma race. Now, both of them are driving cars that have parts of Little Bastard inside. Right. At one point, Eskrid disappeared from the track. And first I thought, I don't think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I looked up videos. You can find videos from this race, and it was just like they closed off a bunch of roads, and then they just drove around for a while. And so he just like, there was a part of the track where people weren't watching. They just weren't there, and then he didn't come out the part where people were sitting again. And they're like, "What happened to Eskrid?" So they go to find him. He had run his car off the road and crashed. He was alive, but the car was totaled.
Oh.
His friend Troy McHenry, also driving in that race, the other Little Bastard car, he also wrecked that day. He drove straight into a tree and died at the scene.
Oh. Woo.
As for the rest of Little Bastard, the rest of the wreck was purchased by George Barris. He was a famous car customizer in Hollywood.
I'm sorry, the rest of which wreck? Of Dean's original wreck?
Good question. Yes.
Okay.
Good question. Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of carnage in
the original Little Bastard.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of Dean's wreck, because it had good bones.
Oh, absolutely.
It was James Dean's bones, I think, that were lodged in there, but those are good bones. So Barris buys it, and he brings it back to his shop. As soon as he brings it there, Little Bastard rolls off the trailer and crushes a mechanic's legs.
From looking at the photo, I'm not entirely sure which part is rollable in that vehicle. I mean, it does have tires.
It's got 4 tires.
Look at they were kind of like turned up though, and the back wasn't attached to the front anymore. Well,
they fixed it up a little bit.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, you had to drive back to the shop somehow.
Yeah, that's right. So it goes off the trailer, crushes his mechanic's legs. So Barris starts bringing it around to car shows in its wreck condition. It's like a sideshow piece. So it's like, cool car, absolute monstrosity.
He's like hoping that the guy from Ripley's is going to show up and buy this fucking thing off of him, and he's not there.
So people who come up and touch the car at these events, they come away with cuts and bruises on their hands, even when they don't touch anything sharp.
Well, again,
yes,
the whole car is just...
Yeah, now the cuts I understand a lot. They come away with like fully bruised hands,
Mhm.
and they're like, "What the fuck?" And later, Barris loaned Little Bastard to the L.A. chapter of the National Safety Council as an educational piece about driving safety.
Hmm.
So the council would tour car shows and movie theaters and bowling alleys.
Interesting.
I assume they're trying to tell the youth,
Yeah.
hey kids, don't be like James Dean. This was his car.
Yeah. And youth is like, holy shit. Do you think my car could go that fast?
Do you know
Yeah.
how fast he must have been going for
Yeah.
his car to end up like this? Oh my God, I am so excited.
My car can't fucking fall that fast. And look what this guy was doing.
On the way to one safety event, the truck carrying Little Bastard went off the road and the driver was killed. That's textbook
Wow.
irony.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Right,
another
late to the show, speeding. You know how it is.
I know how it is. If we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it, as they say. At another safety event, George Barkus, the driver who transported Little Bastard, was lowering the car off the trailer when the chain snapped and the car fell and crushed and killed him.
Jeez. So okay, all right. I like it's literally like a serial killer now. It's not even like
This
a
is
haunted car.
Christine.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is yeah.
Car
We
tasted
are-
blood once, really
Yeah.
liked it.
We are to the montage portion of Christine
Oh,
at
yes.
this point. This is absolutely the part where you don't even learn half the people's names. It's like, ooh, and him, ooh, and him.
There's blood, and there's blood, and there's more blood. There's 80 ounces of blood. Let's see. At another driver safety event in
Find that in your Apple Music library.
Shut
You can ask me.
Siri, shut up. I don't want music about blood and blood and blood. At another driver safety event in Sacramento, the car's restraint chains snapped again, and Little Bastard fell onto a teenager and broke the kid's hip.
Oh,
Barris, let's see, what else? Barris also used two of the original tires on one of his customizations. So they were fine. Tires were fine. They looked bad in that picture, I will grant you, but
Yeah.
they were fine. Both those tires blew at the same time, causing the driver to careen off the road and total his car. In March of 1959, Little Bastard was... Yes, go ahead.
I was saying, I was just, I have a vision. I have a vision
Okay.
here. Okay.
Okay.
Is it possible
Uh-huh.
for Jen at the bottom of the screen during this whole montage here to keep track of dead people and dead cars?
Dead cars.
Yeah.
Yes. I think if anyone can do it, Jen can.
Yeah, absolutely.
My-
Just, tally marks, maybe just like bloody tally marks for each
Yeah.
person and skid marks for each car.
Yeah, I think it sounds easy.
Give Jen 1,000 other things to do.
Yeah, and then I would like it if one or the other should be on fire too. Like every time flames, animated flames would be really cool.
Yeah, probably the cars. They're a little tasteless for the people.
Yeah,
but-
people should be dripping blood. You're right. So let's see. Gosh, we are up. The tally is pretty high at this point, isn't it? Where are we here? Tires blew at the same time. Yep. Oh, March 1959. So this is now 4 years after the original accident. Little
Mhm.
Bastard is in storage in Fresno. Just sitting there by itself in the dark, locked storage, suddenly bursts into flames.
I mean, at some point you gotta cut your losses, right?
I think so.
Mhm.
Um, Now the car suffered surprisingly little damage, like very strangely little damage from this fire. Two of the tires melted. Not the original ones; those were fine. But the two new ones melted, and there was just a little singed paint.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm. How much of this car is made of asbestos? That's my question. They were like,
How much of this car is made of Russians and Poles? Is what I want to know. This is a cursed car. This is why you don't drive Nazi cars.
or even get
There,
near
I
them,
said it.
or touch
Yeah.
them, really,
Yeah.
or rent a storage unit next to them, really.
Apparently. In 1960, Little Bastard is on display in Miami. And after that expo, the car is loaded into a boxcar on a train heading to Los Angeles, heading home. When the train gets to Los Angeles, they open the boxcar and Little Bastard is gone.
Whoa.
And it is never seen again.
Wow, it escaped.
It escaped. It's free.
Out into the wilderness.
And there was $1 million reward placed, at least $1 million reward for any news leading to the location of this car. Never seen again.
Wow. Whew.
Yep. However, the ghost of the car is still sometimes spotted doing 85 miles an hour on that California highway. Some people have seen it go careening off the road, flipping end over end into the field. And then when it comes to arrest, it just completely disappears.
Wow. Whew.
This is just one more reason to hate fascists. They make bad cars. They make scary cars.
And also to drive Studebakers. That's another, like, I would
always drive a Studebaker.
Yeah.
Always. God. This is a coda to the story. This is not at all related. But this came up in my research and it's just so stupid. I wanted to share it. This is a fun little story about James Dean, one of his co-stars in Rebel Without a Cause, Sal Mineo. According to a story written by someone who knew James Dean, Sal Mineo attempted to after James Dean died, his friend Sal attempted to contact him at a seance, and it didn't work out. James didn't come through.
Sure.
Sal was pretty sad about that. On his way home from the seance, Sal wrecked his car. But fate intervened to spare his life. So I think it was a pretty bad wreck. And the words James Dean suddenly appeared on the car's windshield. And from that moment on, Sal Mineo was gay.
You know, we all have our story.
I saw a headline that was something like how James Dean's ghost turned Sal Mineo gay, and I thought I shouldn't click on this.
Yeah, this is.
But I've done a lot of research about a lot of carnage. This is a treat for me.
Open up like 3 nested incognito windows before I open this one up.
This is a work computer. This is a work computer. This is a work computer. And most of that has been the story of the ghost of James Dean's car.
Oh,
wow. Yeah. Well, Is This a Ghost is a production of Smith Show Media. All the notes were taken by me, Clayton Smith. All the funny jokes are from Patrick Dean. Our video editor is Jennifer Swanson. Our audio editor is Jeremy Montoya. And we don't yet have a way to close this show. So see you next week, and and boy, you gotta stop making that face. That's not the way to end it.
what's wrong with my face?
Well, goodbye, everybody. We'll see you again next week on Is This a Ghost?